Everybody is on the defensive.
All of this ostracizing people, what are we afraid of?
We're called to love one another. It can't be, I reject you as a person.
This country's been through so much. Its people has been through so much. Why can't we fix this?
Do we have issues we have to deal with? Yes, we do. But we're not going to be able to deal with them if we're fighting and yelling at each other and not listening.
A national program is bringing people with different political views together, one conversation at a time.
It's called One Small Step, and it allows strangers to connect to broaden their minds. Dave Isay is the founder and president of StoryCorps. It's behind this new initiative. Joins us this morning. How you doing?
Hey, Robin. How you doing?
So the idea is, well, tell people what the basic idea is. Two strangers are brought together, and how does this work?
Sure. Well, I founded a nonprofit called StoryCorps about 20 years ago, which is the largest collection of human voices ever gathered. We were in Chicago for many, many years at the Cultural Center. You bring your grandmother to a booth and interview her about her life, audio only, in a quiet, sacred space. And that interview goes to the Library of Congress. And as you know, the microphone gives you the license to talk about things you've never talked about before. So people think of it as, if I had 40 minutes left to live, what would I say to, what would I ask of this person who means so much to me? And you know, it's preserved for your great grandkids in the Library of Congress. So we're in the human connection business and became incredibly concerned, and are much more concerned today than we were 5 years ago. And we started thinking about this, about toxic polarization in the country, not the fact that we're arguing with each other, but the fact that across the divides, we're not seeing each other as human beings anymore, and created a new way of doing StoryCorps. We've had about 600,000 people, 650,000 people record the grandparent interview, and created this thing called One Small Step, where we're putting strangers across the political divides together, not to talk about politics, just to talk about who they are as human beings, under the premise that it's hard data up close. And it's working in, you know, it's a beautiful thing, and something we need today. I mean, you've seen the statistics there. You know, I hate to be a bummer on, you know, in the morning, but, you know, statistics coming out in the last month. 50% of the country thinks that they're going to see a civil war in their lifetime. 20% of the country thinks. Yes,
this may work for the people that are being interviewed, but how does that impact the other 99% of the people who are, you know, many of whom are arguing about politics for some reason?
Yeah, and arguing is fine. Arguing about politics is great. It's when we stop seeing each other as human beings that we have a problem, called toxic polarization. We are in 4 cities across the country intensively giving people the chance to do these interviews. You can do an interview anywhere in the country. We have about 10,000 people on a waiting list right now to participate, but get on the waiting list. We'll get through it. But we're also going to share the content of these people having these conversations with each other, and show people that it is possible for us to listen to each other, and that, you know, we're not as different as we think we are, and that if we spent more time listening to each other and less time shouting at each other, we'd be a stronger country. You know, Mother Teresa used to say, we've forgotten that we belong to one another. And what we're trying to do with One Small Step is help to remind us that indeed we do. But again, just to put a pin in it, arguing is great. It's that when we start hating each other, when we start not seeing each other as human beings, that leads into very dangerous territory. And all the polls are showing that that's where we're going in this country.
Well, for more information, you can head to takeonesmallstep.org if you're interested in getting involved, or visit storycorps.org. Dave, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much, Robin. Thank you, Larry.